Okay, we want the beginning part to be fairly quick here. We're starting up by going over like what if you could invest in real estate with higher leverage, lower monthly payments, and long-term cash flow, all while meeting the pressing demand for affordable housing. So in the next 30 minutes, we're going to recap a little bit about the known government program that could transform portfolio and maximize returns, also support community growth. So again, at the end of the webinar, we're going to give you exclusive access to the top three inner city MLI Select options available in Calgary and Edmonton that we currently have now. Things are selling incredibly fast. So every week we're going to be doing a different webinar with different projects. So yeah, what we're going to cover, quick recap of the program, how to qualify to maximize your benefits, major risks and what you need to look for, and top three off-market MLI Select projects currently available, and then your roadmap to getting started in MLI Select. So, quick question. If you're thinking about buying a property in Saskatchewan, why would you buy it with someone who lives in PEI? Now, who we are, that brings us into who we are. So we're New Homes Alberta. We're the one-stop shop for everything new homes and pre-construction in Alberta. So our team is 100% local to Alberta, and we advocate for you, the buyers. So we don't represent any builder. Our loyalty is making your next investment purchase as seamless as possible. So the reason that we talk about why one of the most important things that we're seeing is being local to the area that you're selling. All right. So there's a lot of MLI options that are just not in a good area. They're not rentable, but we're seeing a lot of them being sold. So that's something that we want to try and avoid is making sure it's an area that we personally would buy in, that we recommend buying in. And yeah, we're boots on the ground and we're familiar with everything. So as you know, also likely as an investor, every corner is different than it's not just quadrant of the city. So a lot of people think northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. There's good and bad in all of those quadrants. You have to be very careful where you're buying. So that's what we want to make sure we walk you through is step by step why we'd actually buy in that area. Also, yeah, we have a dynamic team and our goal is to find exactly what you're looking for. We're on cash flow analysis, builder introductions, discounted pricing incentives, specialized mortgage experts, and much, much more. Who we are, I'm Josh Clark. My background is in marketing. So I'm a commercial real estate agent here in Calgary. Born and raised in Calgary, ran a marketing company for 10 years, helped sell out projects for builders in 5 countries in places like Tulum, Cabo, St. George, Utah, Toronto, Kelowna, and countless others. And Mike, do you want to do a quick intro as well?
Yeah, I just want to keep it short and sweet because we're here to talk about projects and not ourselves. But my name's Mike. I'm a realtor. Used to be the big bad tax man. Worked as a CPA at Canada Revenue Agency. It was horrible. And then also have a background in digital marketing as well. But I'm the numbers guy here and do a lot of our financial analysis and whatnot.
So, and then we have Ethan, sorry, Joel, Kevin, and Ethan. So Joel, realtor, former engineer, born and raised in Barhead, Alberta, so just south of Edmonton. He's done tons of transactions, led 60 plus agents to 250 deals and 140 million in sales in 2024 alone. Has personally sold over 125 homes, and he owns multiple investment properties himself. And then Kevin's our marketing specialist guy. He's from Calgary as well, took computer science at university, now runs websites, SEO marketing, and all that stuff for building launches. And then we got Ethan, who rounds out the team, who is born and raised in Airdrie, specializes in building connections and builder partners and driving business development for New Homes Alberta. So it's who we are, sped through it. Now, into the CMHC MLI Select program. It's your new secret weapon. In very simple terms, what does it get for you? You can purchase 5 or more doors, make only 5% down payment. You can secure a 50-year mortgage. So extremely high cash flow opportunities. 5x your portfolio value, 4x. Uh, cut your monthly mortgage payments by 50% and 2x cash flow per rental unit. Again, ballpark, but you get the idea. So history on the program, CMHC MLI Select is Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. It's a mortgage loan insurance select program. So the government created this in March 2022, created to encourage the development and preservation of affordable, accessible, and energy efficient multi-unit residential properties in Canada, provides mortgage loan insurance with incentives based on a point system that evaluates affordability, energy efficiency, and accessibility. So the whole point of this program, again, is affordable housing. It's not to make investors rich, although it's a very good opportunity for that. But there's some things that we're going to talk about too that you have to be aware of as the investor that Yeah, so there's limits on what they're wanting you to be able to make. So while this program is a game changer, it's not just another program, it's a strategy for high leverage investing. And here's why you should care about this program as a real estate investor. Up to 95% loan to value, so you can secure millions worth of real estate for only 5% down. Extend 50-year amortization, as we discussed. So get 50-year mortgage, which means lower monthly payments compared to a traditional 25 or 30-year mortgage. And you're able to own a lot of real estate for very little down and stretch out your mortgage over a longer period of time. All of this generally results in more cash flow for you every single month. So think about it as you're working with the government to provide affordable housing, and in doing so, you get very favorable financing term, and that's why it's actually government backed, which is why banks like the program, and which is why, yeah, of course, they have secure backing from the government. But if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So before we dive into the benefits of it, we're going to go over some of the risks about this program as well. So before we dive in, it isn't as simple as calling your favorite mortgage broker and saying you want an MLI Select loan. There's a lot of costs involved. So we're going to explain that later. You as an investor have to meet certain criteria. The property you're purchasing has to meet a certain criteria. And there are risks involved. And there are many different moving parts in the process that you have to be aware of in order for you to get the glorious 5% down for a 50-year mortgage. This isn't meant to scare you, but to educate and prepare you to help you make the right decision and find what works best for you. So remember, while this can all seem overwhelming, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to discuss here. That's what we're here to do. We want to help you find the best projects in the best areas. So again, we're not tied to any one builder. We don't sell one project. We want to talk with each individual investor and see what they're looking for, and we can provide that for you. Connect you with an approved CMHC mortgage broker specializing in the MLI Select program and negotiate the best terms and conditions to protect you. We've seen some nightmare builder contracts more so than ever before because there's a lot more risk as the investor. So there's a lot that we have prepared in, I guess, documents and things in order to help you maximize your returns and security on the investment. But first, let's go over some things you need to be aware about for this program. First, how do you qualify? So the criteria for qualifying for the MLI Select program. There are two major criteria the CMHC is going to look for to qualify for the program. First is you as the investor. The second is the property that you're purchasing. So there's two parts of the equation. Both have to meet the requirements or else you won't get approved. So the investor must meet several key financial criteria. First is the net worth. So your net worth must be at least 25% of the property's purchase price. So for example, a $2 million property, your net worth must be at least $500,000. And then there's a liquidity requirement. So you must have liquid capital amounting to at least 10% of the purchase price. So for a $2 million property, you need at least $200,000 in liquid assets. Now, the property. When evaluating property, CMHC uses a scoring system based on three factors: accessibility, environmental impact, and affordability. And your property score directly impacts how much you're going to have to put down and the length of your mortgage term you're approved for. So to focus, the easiest way to get all points and the easiest way to get 5% down and the 50-year mortgage is to have the affordability portion. This is why we love legal suites. Legal suites almost always hit the affordability. So most common, we're going to see 4 main residences with legal suites, kind of the typical best return and easiest way into the program here. Not best return, but easiest way into the program. So our MLI specialist is going to work with you and build that out with you. So make sure that the project does qualify and that you're pricing it properly and what that median rent price is in the area. So minimum property size, you need at least 5 units. So to qualify for the MLI Select program, the property must contain at least 5 rental units. This can be achieved by purchasing a multifamily or multiple properties located next to each other. And then the debt service coverage ratio. So the DSCR must exceed 1.1 or higher. Now, they do not want you to have a 1.4 DSCR either when applying for the program. So you want to kind of find the sweet spot of the 1.1 to 1.25 in the application to make it easier. This is what we've been told. So your DSCR must be at least 1.1 or higher. Good news, our MLI specialist prepares a thorough pro forma financial analysis for CMHC, factoring every single cost, benchmarks, and projections to give you the best shot of success. We also run pro formas as the initial run through for you, but the one submitting it to the actual program is the one that you have to have dialed in with those terms. Um, Rentability. So criteria, there are additional factors that you must consider for your MLI Select investment. Rentability, this is a large investment. You have to be able to rent at least 5+ doors. So you want an area that has low supply, high demand, and will always have high demand. This is one of the most important things that we see all the time that drives me nuts is people buying in new communities that are essentially dirt pits of construction for the next 3 years. You have to ask yourself, who's going to rent a 2-bedroom legal suite in a community that is under construction for the next couple of years and pay $1,600 or $1,700 per month for that? It's going to be very, very hard to rent out those kind of units. So you have to be aware of supply, demand. Also, you don't want an area where there's 600 different rental units coming out all at the same time. You won't be able to get your return on your rental investment there. So projected growth of the market, are you buying in a place that has high potential to increase in value? Future developments. We want near a hospital. We want near a university. We want near C trains, LRTs, public transit, all of those things we want to take into consideration. So not just picking a random community that we think is good. It has to be near something that over the next 10 years, it'll survive the ups and the downs, right? Community score, what's in the area? Schools, hospitals, grocery stores, how safe is community? What are the amenities? You want to be able to walk to a grocery store. It's a pain when you're renting in an area and you have to drive everywhere. So that's something we want to consider. Walkability score, how walkable is everything? Is transit nearby? And builder reputation and product. Does the builder produce high quality product? Are they easy to work with? What past projects have they built? All very important. So the costs involved. There's some additional costs to be aware of. So unlike a traditional mortgage, the MLI Select program comes with fees. Some of the fees include the CMHC fee. So a fully approved CMHC adds an extra 2.8% onto your mortgage. The mortgage broker fees, our specialist does it for about 0.5%. Others charge 1 to 1.8% that we've seen. So be careful on who you're working with. Screening fees, typically around $1,200 to $1,500. Appraisal fees, typically around $3,000 to $4,000. Lender fees, some may give you a lower interest rate, but expect 0.5 to 1%. We're seeing lately about 0.75, I believe. Legal fees on top of paying for your own, you have to pay for your lender as well. So all in, you can budget another $30,000 to $50,000 for out-of-pocket fees on top of your down payment. So that cash in hand is about $30,000 to $50,000 more than just the 5% that people typically plan for. So you aware of those. Now let's talk about the risk. So while, yes, this is an amazing program, there's a substantial amount of risk involved that we see most people skip over. So Joel, Mike, if you guys have things to add in here as well, because we've seen a lot of stuff in the last couple months, and there's also a lot of uncertainty in the program, right? So things can change anytime. So there's a lot of speculation about what's going to happen, but people don't know necessarily. So that's one of the biggest risks I would say is the changing of the program and people just not knowing what's going to change. So yeah, perfect. Number one, CMHC can make changes to the program and rules whenever they want. This could involve changes such as changing the net worth, liquidity requirements, what types of property qualify for the program. So that's something that we've heard a lot of speculation about too, is what are the next changes going to be? Because it will change. Is it going to be an increase of the net worth requirement? Is it going to be liquidity, or will single family homes no longer qualify? So that's the biggest one we're hearing right now. Now we've heard both sides of it. We've talked to a very, very experienced builder the last couple of days who did over 150 MLI Select deals in the last year and a half, and they have direct relationships with CMHC. They say it's not true that they're going to get rid of single family homes qualifying. We've talked to other experts who say, yes, it absolutely is true, and that things are already getting declined. So everywhere you go, you're getting different answers. The only people who really know are the people who work with CMHC. So just be prepared for all the different situations. And that's something we try and minimize. We work closely with someone who works directly with CMHC. So they try and give us as much information as possible to just provide insight on what the risk would be. COI timing. So your certificate of insurance is only valid for 6 months upon reception. This is one of the biggest challenges too in terms of the terms in the agreement. How do we protect the client when you can only apply for you can only have your certificate within 6 months upon possession, right? So we try and extend the terms and the condition period as long as possible to minimize the risk between the program changing or you not approving your getting your COI approved, right? Then we have three, be careful with pro formas. We see a lot of pro formas that are either not reflective of current market rents or rates. So always do your own due diligence. We also see often just picking the most expensive rental home in the area, and that's the price that people are using pro formas with to make it look more profitable. Be very careful with pro formas. And then potential for lease up prior to potential or prior to possession. So CMHC may require you to have your property leased up with tenants prior to possession in order to fully qualify for the program. That's something that we've heard as well, and that is part of the construction financing terms right now is the cashback. So be careful in terms of making it in an area where supply and demand is not going to be an issue. We really recommend inner city Calgary and Edmonton, right? So somewhere where they're going to tear down a home and build there, that's great because they're not building 6,000 other homes in that area.
And if I'll jump in for one
Yeah.
second, that the potential for lease up, I do think that's gonna I think that's more so applicable with like the big projects like multiple like apartment buildings and things like that. I truly don't think CMHC is gonna care on like a six or an eightplex from what I've heard.
Yeah. Speculation, as everyone has right now.
Yes.
Um, so how do you mitigate this risk? One, work with the right team. Bias, I know, but more so the people that we work with or we try and position ourselves with experts as much as possible. So mortgage brokers are essential. No matter who you work with, just make sure your mortgage broker knows everything about the program because they're the ones who are going to qualify you, the property, submissions. Very important to have a good mortgage broker. Lawyer, you have to have a very good lawyer and review your contracts. Realtor, very helpful to work with the realtor in this scenario, especially because the terms are very challenging to balance. How can you extend your condition periods? What conditions can you have? Ideally, you have a condition that says pending approval of the COI. So that's the ideal situation. Now, very few builders will accept that, but some might, some have. We've had a couple, we don't often, but how can we get that as close as possible? Property manager, you have to have a property manager unless you have 5 or more years of property management experience. But most of the time, you're going to be hiring a property manager. You want to make sure they're good, accountants, etc. Right? So use the right team. Use realistic numbers when evaluating because if you're not using realistic numbers, you're not going to get approved, and that will be a big shock for you in 6 months when you find out you have not qualified for the program when you thought you did. So that's something that I definitely recommend is be as conservative as possible. And I also would say try and get as close to the 1.13 mark as possible if you're way up, right? So if you're pro forma saying 1.3, relook at the numbers, right? Like we're not seeing things above 1.23 realistically. And that's like extremely rare, extremely high end. Um, no matter what people are saying, I think you can expect to be around the 1.14 mark. So just as a benchmark for people. So review the contracts, have an MLI knowledge, lawyer review all terms and conditions. Also, the taxes have been a huge thing that people are asking about. So get a tax lawyer. That's something that there's the rebates that you get. So make sure you understand how the GST works on these and if the builder is including the GST in the price or if you're paying the GST, because if you're paying it, then you can claim and get all your cash, you can get your cash back for the GST through the rebates because it does qualify for the um, full rebate, just so you know. Now, again, talk to the tax lawyers, talk to the experts in that space because everyone has a different answer for that, and every project seems to be different for that for some reason. So be careful. Now, buy quality projects, work with the right team to screen the builders and the areas, and strong reserve fund. Establish a strong reserve fund for future challenges that may arise, such as softening rental markets, etc. So that was very important too. So when people are just scraping by to qualify, oftentimes we say, okay, take a step back. Maybe we look in a different market. So if you're trying to get in Calgary, but you're barely able to meet the requirements, maybe Edmonton's a better market for you because Edmonton is a lot cheaper than Calgary, right? So just be careful and make sure you have a reserve fund in case things go south with the market. You never know. You have it for 10 years. Things can go south at some point. Very quickly, why Alberta? Fleeing high taxes. Alberta has the lowest corporate tax rate in Canada, lowest land transfer tax and development charges, no provincial taxes, low cost of living. So Alberta's second lowest cost of living in major cities and ninth in North America. Very minimal red tape. So getting development permits and those kind of things happen really quickly and very easily. There's no rent control, which also is really good in a way, but we also want to leverage that as much as possible, right? So if you have a tenant for 30 years, you kind of want to pick areas where there's people like near hospitals is really great because nurses will be there for a couple years and then move on to owning a house, and then you can increase the rent accordingly. So part of the area plays in that. 175 million committed to Alberta Enterprise Corp for innovation. Advantages over other cities: no foreigner buyer tax, minimal land transfer tax, and no development charges. So there's also a lot of stuff coming to Alberta. It's a booming tech sector now, which is really nice. And the biggest thing that I'm really excited about is the infrastructure coming. So the new culture and entertainment district, $600 million in city building and infrastructure to date, new event center. So this is all coming to downtown Calgary. So buying East End in areas like Tuxedo Park, I think are gold mines in terms of appreciation because it's a 3 minute, 5 minute drive straight into East End downtown, which will have the new NHL rink, which will have new concerts, new venue, and they're gonna make everything walkable and try and anyone who knows or anyone who's been to downtown Calgary lately, kind of a ghost town. So try and liven it up a little bit, which will be really exciting. Now, my rambling is over. Let's take a look at the top three CMHC MLI Select options currently available in Calgary and Edmonton that we've kind of selected here. Disclaimer, every investment involves risk, and any purchaser of real estate is responsible for their own due diligence. Nothing's guaranteed by New Homes Alberta. All figures listed on the page are for purposes of academic evaluation only, and any interested investor is responsible for their own model and assumptions and should do their own research and evaluation before making an investment. So we are pulling information from online, from past sales, past projects, and that kind of thing. But again, anything can change. So please do your own research on these. So with that being said, Mike, do you want to talk about the first project? Walk us through it.
Absolutely. So appreciate all your patience up to this point. If you're enjoying the content so far, let us know in the chat. Project number one that we have. So I know Josh didn't really touch on this, but I'll just say to you, like inventory, we're always going to be constantly having a new inventory, but right now, like I'll just say the state of the market. If there's anything good out there, it gets snapped up pretty dang quick and just a real crunch, particularly in Calgary right now. But we're excited to be sharing these options with you tonight here. So in Glenbrook, and I'm going to be a little bit biased here because I live in Glenbrook, but what we have here is five stacked townhomes, so 10 total units on top of each other. Purchase price of 3.91 million, and the details on these bad boys is both units are 2 bed, 2.5 bathroom units. They're both just under 1,100 square feet, and for parking, there is a detached 5-car garage outside. You can see the picture there. That is them. Like I literally probably live about 5 blocks away from this building right now. It's great. And in terms of the numbers, which is I know what you guys are all here for, but what we have right here is assuming that 3.91 million. I'll walk through here, but as you can see, the big numbers there. We have a monthly cash flow of a little over $1,700 a month. Your cash on cash return after year three, little under 13%, 12.83%. We have a 3-year ROI of 235%. That 3-year ROI number is taking into account, of course, appreciation in your property, as well as your cash flow collected and the pay down of your debt through your tenants. Like Josh was mentioning, our DSCR is above 1.1. We got a nice 1.12. Net worth required to secure this property, of course, is 25%. So a little under 1,977,500, and liquidity required 391,000. Now, in terms of expenses, I'll quickly run through here. So, this project in particular, the builder is happy to do 5% down. So that 5% is about 1,955K. And then we've budgeted, of course, like we said, about another like 35 to 45K for out-of-pocket transaction fees. So of course, this is the cost we were talking about before, your mortgage broker fee, your screening fee, your appraisal fees, your lender fees, and your legal fees. But yeah, just like we really do want people to be aware of these expenses because we just see too many people like not even just kind of gloss over them. And obviously, we don't want that to happen to you. Right now, what we've heard from our mortgage broker, and this probably changed as of yesterday with the mortgage rate drop, but we're waiting to hear back from tomorrow. But we've prepared our model off a 4% interest rate, which she told us last Friday is what she's seeing a lot of deals get processed at right now. So with your mortgage, with that 2.8% CMHC fee added on, your total mortgage is a little over 3.8 million, and your monthly mortgage payment about 14,728 a month. And then in terms of all of our operating expenses, one of the requirements of the program as well too is you or somebody else, you yourself, or you have to have a property manager with at least 5 years experience managing the property. So we've budgeted 8% for our property manager, because that's we know what some people are paying, generally between 8 and 10%. Property tax, we've budgeted at $20,000 a year. Our landlord insurance is estimated around $6,000 a year. And then we've also budgeted 3% for a vacancy and then 2% as well for repairs and maintenance. Now, again, keep in mind, these are brand new builds, all under new homes warranty. Everything's covered by the warranty, including the appliances and whatnot. So like theoretically that should be zero, but we like to budget again just in case, and also to keep CMHC happy. But yeah, all in all, 17, little over 1,700 in cash flow, just over 5% cap rate. And Josh, if you want to click on that button, we can take a quick look at the floor plans here. I don't know if this is gonna
Can
boot us out, but that's okay.
you see it still? Is it sharing?
We'll have to zoom in on all of them. There's just I can see it, but let's just really quickly go over the
Yeah, I
floor
can just
plan
have.
just to give you an idea.
Also, if there's any questions or anything too afterwards, like we can open the floor up per project for any questions we have, people might have. Yeah, it's hard to see the numbers and
Yeah,
whatnot, but
I figured. Well, I just want to give them an idea. And
yeah,
again, after this presentation, like again, like reach out and we're more than happy to send you over the full details, the floor plans, and the financial projections for you to review. We just want to keep it relatively simple and short on here, but just to give you a general idea. There's the garage. And then I believe one more slide, we'll get into the basement, the lower units. Yeah, yeah. So I apologize, guys. It's just really hard to see with our dimensions. But how the stacked townhome works is the bedrooms of the lower unit are in the basement, so you can see there. It's a double master setup. So each bedroom has a big closet, and then one has an ensuite. The other one has the bathroom just outside of it, and then the laundry room is also down there as well. But that's really it on the basement level. Then you would walk up the stairs, and this takes you to the main level of the home. So the ground floor, which is the upper unit of the lower floor, but simple design here, L-shaped kitchen in the back with the powder room at the front. Um, and then, of course, the upstairs tenants' stairs were behind there as well. But second floor of the building is pretty much the exact same as the ones we just saw. This is just for the upstairs tenants. And then you would walk up. Finally, you'd go up the stairs as well. And again, the double master setup at the top floor
which
there. And then the top floor also has a little miniature balcony as well. The master comes with a balcony as well.
yeah. Let's put
Yeah,
it. This is the most expensive of the options, by the way, but it's a good one. We're like 10 units is hard to come by. Usually people are trying to go as low as possible in the threes, but yeah, so that's the first project.
and I'll just touch on the neighborhood
Yeah, nice.
briefly as well too, which is going to be on the next slide here.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Okay, we're good. So again, that red dot right there, that's where the property is located in terms of Glenbrook and kind of what you're nearby. So, great part about this location, what I love living here, in the neighborhood is I'm pretty much 5 to 15 minutes away from absolutely everything I really need to go to. In terms of the big universities, so you're 5 minutes away from Mount Royal University. You can actually see it in the lower right hand of the map there. You're about 10 to 15 minutes away from downtown, just depending on if it's rush hour or not. But yeah, I can boot to downtown in about 10 minutes. You're 15 minutes away from University of Calgary or SAIT. But again, why I love living here is I am like 3 minutes away from like literally everything I need. You have Good Life Fitness, literally about four different grocery stores. You got a Save On, a Safeway, a Superstore, 10, 15 minutes away from one of the best Costco's in the city. Uh, so much shopping there in the Signal Hill
Yeah, you have
shopping center. And another benefit I forgot to list there as well too is if you like getting out of town, you're already on the west end side of town too, and you just take the Highway 8 and you're out of the city in like probably 10, 15 minutes on your way to Kananaskis as well.
which has a lot of
But
value.
yeah,
People
that's
like that.
yeah, the west side's more expensive than the east, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, People like going to the mountains and not Saskatchewan. But yeah, that's it for project one. 5 stacked townhomes in Glenbrook.
Any questions on the project? If you do, you can put them in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, if you got questions, please just fire them in the chat.
Second project, Kingsland double duplexes with legal suites. I love this project personally. 3.1 million will not last long because anything under 3.2 inner city Calgary sells almost instantly. We had actually an offer going into this one, but financing fell through. So purchase price 3.1 million. Details 1250 square feet, 3 bed, 2.5 bath upper, 630 square feet, 2 bed, 1 bath suites underneath. Okay. Parking detached 4 car garage. Now, this is kind of the exact projects that we like as well. Like 2.9 to 3.2 is the sweet spot, especially if it's in a good area. So that's what we'll talk about after we go over the finances quick here. So 4 towns with legal suites, purchase price 3.1 million. So you get 8 units, and the total cash needed is 196,000 for 8 rental units. So pretty incredible. And this one, it's a 5% deposit all in, and it's 2.5 down and then 2.5 back on return. Now, I also briefly want to touch on people. We keep hearing that people want Edmonton more than Calgary, so we can also talk later about the differences between the two. We just find there's much more inventory in Edmonton, which is why I think there's a lot more talk about it as well, and it's a cheaper price point. But I personally would rather in Calgary. Just saying. Anyways, so 50-year mortgage at 4% interest, $11,677 dollar mortgage payment. Your cash flow is about 1464 per month, including your property management. So same finances as before. So I'm not going to walk through every single line item, but total cash needed is important. So $196,200 in total cash. And that includes all these different fees. Monthly rent, 17,800 for all 8 units. DSCR, 1.13 14, almost 1,500 per month cash flow. So you need 775,000 net worth and 310,000 liquidity. So why do I love this project so much? This is across the street from Chinook Shopping Center, not literally, which is the great thing. It's a couple blocks away. So here's Chinook, which is probably the best mall in Calgary, maybe. It's 2 kilometers from Rocky View Hospitals. I put it in the maps. It's literally 2 kilometers from the hospital. Perfect tenant profile here. So you can go through the community, Calvin Grove, and you're at Rocky View Hospital. And then Elbow Reservoir is beautiful as well. Super nice parks, pathways. You can walk dogs, all that kind of thing, walking distance from the property here. Here's McLeod Trail. So this is one of the main roads in Calgary to get downtown as well. So you are also walking distance from the LRT station or the train station, and your 10-minute drive to downtown. So McLeod takes you right into downtown. Shopping, hospitals, schools, all super close by. This is the main road to get out of the city to the west end as well. So super, super nice location on this one. Shopping and everything that you need as a rental property is here. And also this area is mostly old homes. So there's very, very few new builds in this area. That's a supply and demand that we look for. It's a very established area. All of these are. Kelvin Grove is extremely expensive, by the way. Very nice area too. Um, as is Bel Air. That's the name, Bel Air. But lots of great things around here. Shopping, food, everything along McLeod Trail. Big fan of the location and the supply and demand factor in this area makes it a great project at a great price. Anything anyone wants to add there?
Yeah, I would just add the like, kind of like what you said, these products are really hard to come by, so that's why we like this one a lot. Anything inner city Calgary gets swept up what we see almost immediately. So we found this one like a couple days ago, I would say. We drove there. It's a nice part is we've seen the lot. We've seen what's happening. We're boots on the ground. We know the builder now. We're in touch with them. So that's the best part about us living in Calgary as well, is we can go there and screen the builder and screen the lot. So
Yeah, no, this is a great one. Excited about this one. And then project three, Joel, if you want to take this one, or Joel and Mike.
yeah, sure, I can go ahead. I don't have access to Click, so I'll just let you guys know. But this one's in Edmonton, so I'm pretty familiar with Edmonton. I've lived there. Mike's lived there. Grew up in the area. So North Glenora, it's one of the top communities in Edmonton. You guys are welcome to do your own research, obviously, but higher end quality homes there. And this is an eightplex, so purchase price, as you can see, lower than Edmonton, at the $2.65 million range. 3 bed, 2.5 bath upper, and then you got the 2 bed, 1 bath suite. So, and then the parking is assigned stalls. So one thing, just an educational point, Edmonton doesn't have a parking requirement as such as Calgary does. So in Calgary, you need 0.5 parking stalls per unit. So if you have 8 units, you need 4 stalls. And in Edmonton, you don't, right? So that's one thing to be note of. So we'll screen that for you guys as well to make sure that there's parking and that you're buying in great areas. So Mike, can you or somebody go to the next one?
Yeah, there you
Uh, yeah, we'll just go through this super quick. You guys can take a look. 2.65 million total cash needed, 170,000. And then 50-year mortgage at the 9,888 mortgage payment, cash flow 1955 with property management. So just things to be noted is, do your own diligence here. We'll run it past our mortgage broker. Make sure the numbers are up to par, but that's kind of where we're at in Edmonton. Great area. The thing that we love, if you go to the next slide, it's super close to all the major universities here. So in Edmonton, the three main ones you have are Grant Mac, U of A, and NAIT, that people go to. And then there's obviously tons of shopping in downtown. So Edmonton's, kind of trying to revitalize their downtown as well, with like the Ice District, which is right by Grant McEwen. They got the new Oilers arena there, Rogers Place. So you're pretty close to all of that, which is nice for a rentability standpoint. You're not getting too far out into the suburbs or into some of the sketchy areas in Edmonton. So high quality renters you'll get in this area for 2.65 million. So great price point.
Yeah, and as you can, almost 2,000 per month in cash flow is an incredible return there. So that's seeing that is kind of the high end of what you should expect in terms of um, cash on these as well.
We didn't do this, but do we want to show the floor plans for Kingsland and the North Glenora project?
Yeah, may as well.
Does anybody have any questions about these projects or the areas? You can put in the chat, or you're welcome to speak up, and
Yeah.
we'll answer anything.
Yeah, I've been monitoring the chat. There's been crickets here, so they're either well informed or they don't have a lot of questions right now. But yeah, we encourage your questions if you want to drop them in the chat. Happy to get those answered. But Scroll down. We don't have to spend much time here because again, too, if you guys are super interested, we have some instructions for you if you want to move forward, or if you have more questions here that you want to get answered privately, maybe, or you want more. Sonny did just ask, is HELOC considered liquid cash? That's actually a fantastic question. Um, do either of you know? Because I know that'd be more of a mortgage broker question. We're not mortgage brokers, but
I think
I
it is.
think it, I think it does. I think it is, Sonny, but don't quote us on that. But we think so. But we're more than happy to make a connection to our MLI broker. But Josh, you want to go down the floor plan here?
Sorry, yeah.
Again, people, we apologize. It's very hard to see here. Basically, though, this is the ground floor. So the way this is with this particular project, the ground floor is the main living area for all of the upper floor units. You can see here, it's basically just an open concept. You have for most of them, it's actually a U-shaped kitchen, and then dining and living area, and then some storage as well in the closets. Then upstairs is going to be your 3-bed, 2.5 baths. Again, hard to see. Just I know even looking at this on my own computer, this was an incredibly hard floor plan to see. But they're good sized rooms. And then on the bottom as well, on the basement floor plan, here's your 2-bed, 1-bath suites. They're a little under 650 square feet. Basically, your 2 bedrooms, kitchen, little living room, and then laundry room as well. But really unique design, really nice looking building. And yeah, we like it a lot, especially in terms of the numbers.
No. We got a question. Are you able to refinance the MLI before 10 years? Mike?
That's a mortgage broker question.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to say that. Mike's a conservative man, and we're supposed to defer those kind of questions to the mortgage specialist. But yeah, you do have to hold the property for 10 years. I believe it's after 5, and then you can renegotiate terms. But again, we're supposed to defer those questions to the mortgage broker. So um, happy to get you in touch with them. Um, the Yeah, we can take a look quickly at Kingsland. Okay, so here's a Kingsland look and design. My computer loads. There we go. Now that is hard to see. So maybe we won't even go over it, but we'll send. Okay, here we go. We can see these. Yeah, I think they're nice looking. And be the
I
only
would say,
area. What's that?
sorry, I would say if you want the floor plans, just reach out to us after and we can send them over to you. Or maybe we just send them out with the replay. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. That's easier. But 2 bedrooms. I think are these 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom suites?
Yeah, they're 2 bedroom suites. I like the way they're set up too.
Yeah.
And the bedrooms on opposite sides.
All
But
right.
that's yeah, I'll let you.
I was gonna say that's a run through. So, any questions you want to make a move on any of these? We're currently looking for 3 investors who to work with to help them build their portfolios. So, any good MLI Select option doesn't last. We wrote 7 just last week. So, if you have any questions on the project shown today or would like more details, then you can go to the link here, which we'll send out. We can put it in the chat. I'm sure. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I will leave the chat here.
Yeah. So, any questions? Please feel free to reach out. Thoughts, comments?
Yeah, if you got questions on the projects, questions about the neighborhood, quite really just any questions, or you do want to move forward on them, just left a link in the chat. The one thing I will say is the only quote unquote catch is we are realtors as well too. So if you are currently working with a multifamily commercial realtor already in Alberta. We don't want to step on anybody's toes, but we are happy to already speak with any pre-existing realtors that you're working with.
And
Um,
go ahead. Sunny's asked a question too there.
Yeah, Sonny, we'll answer your question really shortly after here, but yeah, there was a couple more slides after that, but if you click on that link, you'll be taken to a website. It's pretty much just a simple form on there because we don't want the reason we're saying to the form is just to keep things orderly. We'll respond to inquiries in the order that they are received. We just didn't want to tie up the phone line. So any questions, or if none of these projects really caught your eye, again, just stay in touch. We're planning on doing these webinars once a week because, again, we get new inventory each and every week. But those are some of the 3 best options that we have available currently right now in Alberta for you. And we hope you enjoy this presentation here. Again, we're all 100% local to Alberta. We're boots on the ground. We can really do anything because we actually live here, unlike a lot of other people.
Yeah, so to answer your question too, Sunny, does the mortgage start after everything is rented out? The mortgage is going to start on possession, essentially, right? So you can try and ideally you're trying to get renters before you get possession. Now, it's not always easy because you often can't do walkthroughs. People are gonna have to wear construction hats. Like it's going to be, yeah, you want to try and rent it out before you take possession, but your mortgage is going to start on possession.
And being local, we know a lot of good property managers as well, so we'll screen all that for you guys as well, right? So make sure that you're dealing with somebody that knows what they're doing and can help you get that rented out. And so when you're not sticking around waiting there with vacant units for too long, okay? Would be
Yeah, a good property management company should be filling that up for you beforehand. So putting it on Rent Faster and all the different marketplaces and that kind of thing. Um, yeah, and then we also have a marketing company. So if anyone's struggling that we're working with too, they're free. Like we'll help fill things and stuff. We want to be that one-stop shop that extends beyond just the signing of things. So happy to run marketing campaigns to help promote rental products as well. So that's something that we of course will provide, but it should be the property management company and putting it in the right marketplace spots. And if you buy in the right area, it'll rent.
All right. Any last questions here? Please fill out the chat. And if not, we hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got value out of it. Would love any feedback that you have. And yeah, stay in touch. We'll be doing these every week here from moving forward.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Have a great night.